It is official. Yabraka come y'all by Sean Mashiach Yahshua, brother Karatazaya Ban Yasharala. And we are back at it like Torah addicts out of rehab. Literally or proverbially, however you want to take it. All right, so let's get to it real quick. Uh, as you can see, we have the lunar phases flowing in the background. All right, I'm going to take time and share this out. And the reason being is because I want all of you to be able to see something cool. So what we're looking at is what we call Mama Moon. Mama Moon. All right, we call Mama Moon because she is also the moon that is referred to in the Bible. So when we look at our forefathers, the fathers of the 12 tribes, they were knowledgeable about the constellations. I'm going to send I'm going to send a link, and if you would like to, I want you to participate. All right. So I'm going to send a link. Okay. And when I send this link, I would like you to participate. It's Shabbat. You ain't got no job. You ain't got nothing to do. I know you're not at work on the Shabbat, are you? Even if you are, you can still listen. All right. So tap in. We're going to try to make it real clean. All right. This will be a family friendly class because my mashpacha, my yaladim, they're watching also. All right. So shalom, kwami asherallah. All right, and then what we're gonna do is, if you don't mind, like, subscribe, and share. I got like 7 friends on Facebook. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? 5 friends on YouTube, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So we really want. So what we really want to do is, as they say in the social media world, like, subscribe, share, all that cool stuff. All right, and then as we keep working. Uh-oh. 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 Sorry about that sound cut out. As we keep working and show the people what it is, I hope that you all will that you'll learn something new. All right. So I hope that you all learn something new. All right. So shalom, shalom to those who just joined. So what you see, of course, is on the background you have Mama Moon. Say Mama Moon. Say Mama Moon. Yeah. So as you can see, Mama Moon is going through her rotation. She's going through her phases. All right. All right. So can you name off the different phases? If you can't, it's okay. If you can't, it's okay. You can learn it. There are only 8 primary lunar phases that you have to know. Okay. And the phase that you see right there is called waxing gibbous. As you see, the light is coming onto the moon. Put a 7 in the room if you can hear me okay. All right. Put a 7 in the room if you can hear me okay. If I need to fix the sound, put a 3 in the room. So what you're looking at is what's called now going into waxing gibbous, because if you look at the left side of the screen, you'll be able to see the moon still dark. When she's all the way full moon, I want you to, there you go. Now you have full moon. Shalom, appreciate that. Shalom, the Tiffery. That's fire. That's a fire name, the Tiffery. All right, shalom to you, Tiffany. Now we're looking at full moon. So we're gonna be here for a little bit. All right. If it's cool with you, like, subscribe, share. As you see, I got 7 friends on YouTube, 5 friends on Facebook. What I want you to do is pay attention to the phase of the moon. Now, if you are a North American Indian from the tribe of Gad, a lot of Negroes and North American Indians integrated normally. You got what's that? 9 and 4, 9 and 4, fours and nines. Negroes are from the tribe of Judah. That would be a 4th tribe. North American Indians are from the 9th born son, which would be the tribe of Gad. All right. Not only like, subscribe and share, but Baba Kushah, please. Baba Kushah in Hebrew, please make sure that others get a part of this edification. All right. All praise. Yeah. Salute to you. Hey, I told you I had you on my mind when I started doing this, when I started putting this video together. So I appreciate you, the Tiffany. I'm going to send a link in the room, and if anybody would like to join, including you specifically, but also to my friends and families, etc., if you would like to join, you can. Okay, I can put you in this group, or if you know somebody who you might think would be good at a conversation with me on this, all right, then please add them to this video. Like, subscribe, share. Y'all see, like I said, I got like 3 friends on YouTube, 5 friends on Facebook, something like that. It don't matter. But if you watch, you're gonna learn today. So, what lunar phase is that? That is waxing crescent. That is the majority of the time when people say it's new moon. That is not the beginning of new moon. Because if you continue to watch her, she's about 3 days old right now. Yes, I am freestyle. Why? Because that's how much we observe. Right there, she's about 5 days old. So as she increases in light, she is now beginning to wax, wax. She is waxing crescent, waxing crescent. Now she's about half. So that would be first quarter. Now she's not going to stop spinning. This entire video, you'll be able to see the moon spin, but we also are going to share edification through, in Hebrew, what we call saparium. Saparium. And today we're going to be learning the phases of the moon. Why do we have to know the phase of the moon? Because we are the Hebrews that the Bible speaks of. Our God, Yahweh, taught us. Scripture says, as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so be your mind return to seek him 10 times more. Let me read this to you. All right, and this says, right now we're on live. All right, appreciate you for thank you for your call. All right, so let me read this. I want to first give you all a visual, but as I give you the visual, these are some of the narratives that we're going to be seeing. Now, this book that you're currently looking at is called St. John of Damascus. It's called The Orthodox Faith. St. John of Damascus is called book number, you're in book number 2, chapter 7. The section is called Light, Fire, Stars, and the Luminaries. Okay? This book right here is called Pliny the Elder. Pliny the Elder, if you can see. And as we are broadcasting right now live on YouTube, thank you for calling in. If you want to, you can get on YouTube, Isaiah Yasharallah. Get in the comment board. I'll be able to speak to you there, or I actually put a link in there. If you like to, you can click the link and come in live. So for everybody else that's watching, the book that we're currently looking at, Isaiah Yasharallah on YouTube. All right, same thing on Facebook. I got like 5 friends on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, all this stuff. So we're currently looking at a book that's called Natural History by a man whose name was Plinius Secundus. He was known as Pliny the Elder. Pliny the Elder was alive during the time of the siege of Jerusalem, where Negroes, African Americans, also North American Indians, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, those that are of the descendants of the transatlantic slave trade, which 123 countries have just confessed that 400 years the children of Jacob have been held in captivity, scattered throughout North, South, Central America, even into the interior of Africa, which is why we use what is called the 12 tribes chart as a beginner's graph to show you at least who you are. This book right here, Pliny the Elder, Pliny was alive when our homeland was besieged and destroyed. When he was besieged and destroyed, he sat down in a specific location, which you probably are familiar with the name of. It's called Pompeii. Pompeii, sound familiar? Pompeii, right? Pompeii had a very very world-renowned volcano eruption happened. And when that eruption happened, Pliny the Elder was a very brave old man who knew that everybody was going to die. You get it? We're all about to die. But instead of making y'all panic, how about I just sit down and read a book to y'all? I'm here to tell you today that fireballs are falling from the sky in the United States specifically. All right, it's my job to tell you that. There's a difference between a meteoric, an asteroid, and a fireball. I like to read. If you like what you hear, like, subscribe, share. And if you are listening on my phone, please hang up and get on my YouTube. That way my line can be cleared up. Unless you want to start a conference call and bring other people in. That'd be cool. All right. So with that being said, right now what we have happening over America are reports of hundreds of phone calls going into, if you don't believe NASA, just spend some time with me. I can convince you. I think I can convince you. NASA does not mean deceive in Hebrew. Okay. That's a whole nother lesson. Ask me later. So not only from NASA, but the National Asteroid, I don't forget the name of it at the time. Right now, it escapes me. You can just Google it for yourself. It's an isolated incident that's happening now. There are worldwide right now asteroids. Right now, there are comets that are all facing the Earth. And if you look it up, I've showed people on videos from months back. I've been telling people happy Passover. Do not be surprised within these next couple months if you see very strange things happening within the sky during the time that Christ not only died but resurrected. All right, it was Passover, this same season, the same time that Judas Iscariot's spirit, well, Satan was going throughout Judas Iscariot, and everybody was bugging out against each other. Happy Passover. Love your neighbor as you love yourself and forgive each other. It's not as easy as it sounds, but you can do it. Pliny the Elder was alive during that time. So when he wrote this book called Natural History, and he talked to everybody about, hey, look, this is what skin is made of. Oh yeah, these are what the ancients, all right, said that molecules actually collided, looked like. This is before we have what we have now. All right, so this is what we'll be reading from. All right, so just rock with us for a little bit if you choose to. All right, so that's one. That's the second reference. Our third reference we'll be using will be well, we're always going to use the Bible. All right. Real quick side note before we go forward, I want to talk to you about the moon. All right, so the moon is everything to us. The moon is the closest, uh, celestial body. All right, let's call it celestial body. She's the closest celestial body that we have to us, and the majority of people we don't not only understand her, we also don't take consideration to know that she's one of the Most High's heavenly bodies. That's a little bit loud. I'm gonna turn that down just a little bit. All right, that was a little bit loud. She's one of the Most High's heavenly bodies that the Bible says is an instrument that's used by the angels. Continue to look at her, and I want you to also keep on your phone. I want you to Google what are the eight lunar phases. And while you're Googling what are the eight lunar phases, give your kids, children, because kids are goats. Give your Yaladium pencil, paper, pad, do it for yourself, and write down each lunar phase and draw them because that's what I did. I want you to draw a circle, take a bottle cap, put a bottle cap on a piece of paper, take a pencil, and then perfectly etch around it, and you'll have the full moon. When the Most High made the moon, he made the moon 15 days old. Let's start our reading. There's a man whose name was Pliny the Elder. We already talked about Pliny the Elder. We're also going to talk about Pliny the Younger. All right? Sounds crazy, huh? Pliny the Elder and Pliny the Younger. Now watch this. Pliny the Younger was the nephew of Pliny the Elder. Flavius Josephus is very important for every Hebrew Israelite to know, which Hebrew Israelite isn't a word that the Most High ever called us in the Bible. You will not find the Most High said to the Hebrew Israelites. That's why I can say stuff like Black Hebrew Israelites, because even though I'm fully engrossed in my culture, I know the difference between terminology, slang, bywords, and proverbs. God in the Bible called us Banya Yashar Allah, which means the children of Israel. So Flavius Josephus, which was a master teacher, he was a scholar and philosopher, but also a historian and a Levite. So much more than that. When he wrote about Pliny the Younger, Flavius' nephew, he told us, and this is so wonderful. There's so many different ways to prove the existence of Christ. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna just give you a brief overview. All right, so when it comes to Flavius Josephus, he wrote a book that was called Testimonium Flavium. I'm gonna get that name for you. I'm gonna post it in here for you. If you can't purchase this book, then what you can do is you can at least get online and look at it for free. Testimonium Flavium, which lets you know about Christ and the apostles. Testimonium Flavium lets you know about the real existence person of Yahushua, who the world ignorantly and sometimes accidentally calls Jesus. Some people call him Yeshua. Some people call him Yeshaya. You know of Yeshua? Yeah, the Negro that was murdered by the police. Oh yeah, I'm from his tribe. So, Testimonium Flavium, he gives us a breakdown of Pliny's nephew, which was named Pliny the Younger. And Pliny the Younger wrote a letter to Emperor Trajan. Don't worry, if you're not getting all this now, you'll understand it later. This letter was written in the year 112. Y'all remember 112, right? Remember that song? Cupid, Cupid, yeah, that's all Cupid do is lie. Cupid is a demon of deceit. Don't get it twisted. So the song 112, the group 112, which did that song Cupid, which is hot. In the year 112, Pliny the Younger wrote a letter to Emperor Trajan. And the letter described how Hebrews kept the Sabbath day, but also how on the new moon and on the full moon, We made an observance. Now, I'm learning more about us making an observance on a full moon. I know specifically the new moon, the interlunar. And that's what I'm here to show you about. And that's what I'm here to show you about. That's what I'm here to talk to you about and show you. As you observe the moon, I want you to take a bottle cap or do the best that you can and just make a circle. And do 8 circles in a row. And the more that you do this, the more you'll be able to see her for yourself. And you're going to start making small curves. Like right here, where she's starting to curve like this. This phase is called waxing gibbous. And in a little bit, she's going to be what's called first quarter. First quarter is when she's halfway lit on one side and halfway lit on the other side. All right. Now, well, we just left waxing crescent. So now we're in waxing gibbous. All right. I apologize. So another thing to prove or point out is that now I want you all to point out for yourself when she's in full moon. I want you to notice when she's in full moon. How will you know? Because her edges will be dark. Look at her left corner. Her left corner is still dark. Her right corner is way brighter. When her left side and her right side are both equally bright, you see it slowly happening. Now we're going into what's called full moon. Full moon is the 15th day of the month. Look at her. Isn't she so beautiful? Say hi, Mama Moon. Shalom, Mama Moon. Now, Mama Moon is starting to go away. If you look at her right side, she's starting to what's called wane. This is called waning. Waning means she's getting dark. She's getting tired. She's starting, her light is starting to turn away. She's turning her light from us. And as she wanes away, you see the right side of her starting. You can go outside and look at her right now. And she's almost full. And this is accurate. She's waning. And as she starts to get darker, now she's in the last quarter of the moon. You saw her and her light got dimmer. So she started to curve. And as she curved, her phase became crescent, not like the bread, but like the moon. She is officially crescent moon. And as you look, now she's starting to get darker and darker and darker. This is how you watch for new moon. You watch for new moon by her light going away. Now we are officially almost in interlunium. Interlunium is what's called new moon. I'm going to stop. I'll pause it right here. I know, right? Kind of messed up your head because she's been spinning the whole time. You're not used to her not moving. She is always in rotation, just as the earth is always in rotation. You just can't feel it because it's really big and we're really small, so it doesn't feel like we're moving. I'm going to press play. When I press play, the first phase that we're going to be coming into is called waxing crescent. I'm going to leave this playing, but I'm going to begin reading. If anybody has any questions, just put it up here. You have to learn the lunar phases because you have to know when to praise Yahweh. And you can't wait for nobody to tell you. The first phase that we're coming in right now, this is called waxing crescent. She looks like a thumbnail. Look at your thumbnail. See? So you can always tell when she's waxing crescent because she looks like a thumbnail. Mama Moon looks like my thumbnail. Hi, Mama Moon. Shalom, Mama Moon. Phases of the moon. She is in conjunction whenever she is in the same degree as the sun. She is born when she is 15 degrees distant from the sun. It rises when it is crescent shaped. And this occurs twice, at which times it is 60 degrees distant from the sun. It is half moon, full twice, when it is 90 degrees from the sun. Twice it is gibbous. This is when it is 150 degrees from the sun. And twice it is full, giving full light. When it is 150 degrees from the sun. It is a complete moon. When it is 180 degrees distant from the sun. We say twice because these phases occur when the moon waxes and when it wanes. In 2.5 days, the moon transverses each side. She should look different to you. Being able to process that, oh, she's light on this side and then she's light on that side. Each phase has a double. Each phase has the same name. It's just one is waxing and one is waning. So I want you to start realizing now, when is she waning and when is she waxing? I'll tell you. I won't leave you hanging. She's waxing when her light is coming on. She's waning. She's getting tired. Is anybody getting sleepy? Are you sleepy? She's waning when her light is going off. The Most High made all things double and has set one against another. This is what the Father did. He gave us a really cool symbol to show us that He made everything even. I want to show you all this, okay? Now, some of us may know about it. You might have even drawn it. Oh, wait, is drawn it a real word, or is that just me being Hebrew Ebonics? What is that? Is drawn it? Can I say drawn it? And now it's just messing with my head. You may have even drew this in your lifetime. I want to share you this image. Let's share you this image. Let's go to the screen share. Let us switch from Mama Moon real quick. Pretty cool. Look at all the pretty cool images. Wow, look at those. What are those? Can anybody tell me what those are? Can you text in the room what those are? Can you shout out to yourself what those are? You can tell when I'm typing because I can't talk and type at the same time. I cannot type and talk at the same time. Okay, uh, um, so what we're looking at is the symbol of what's called the yin yang. Okay, so the yin yang is also known, throughout different cultures, for all kind of stuff. I want to show you that the moon is also a representation of the yin yang. Why do I say that? Because the Most High has made everything double. He made hot, He made cold, He made up, He made down, He made boy, He made girl, He made solid, He made liquid, He made opposites. And that's really cool because when you look at her, she always looks the same. Now, it's going to be very scary because one day you're going to look at her and she's not going to look the same. That's why it's important for you to know what she's supposed to look like now. All right. I want to show you something really cool. Remember, the moon, she has two phases. One is coming on. When she's coming on, what's that called? Waxing. When she's going off, what's that called? Waning. Look at this. Ecclesiasticus. Look at how dope this is. 42:24. For those of you who know, you know. All things are double, one against another, and He hath made nothing imperfect. So first, let me tell you this. One, there's an equal and opposite man of you. Every woman is perfect. Every man is perfect. Because remember, you're made in the Most High image. When the Most High made the moon, He made the moon very beautifully perfect in herself. And also, when He made the moon, He made her to be set apart from the sun. I'm going to read a little bit more, so let's get to that. All right. I want to go to Pliny the Elder, and I want to check the comment board too. Maybe somebody said something, maybe somebody didn't. But just in case, I want to make sure I answer questions. Maybe that's something I should do after reading this. Right. Let me show you this real quick. All right. This book is called Natural Historia, Natural History. Okay. Hopefully, we will be able to get it to where we're comfortable with seeing it. Can you see that? This book by the man whose name was Pliny the Elder. Pliny the Elder was very wise. He spent all of his time reading, studying, and teaching people. That's what he did. It was his love. It was his passion. And when he was traveling, he would have people read to him while he took notes. Pliny was a beast. Like, he was just like, now people can find all kind of crazy things to say about people. You can find a bunch of crazy stuff to say about people. All right. I'm confident, I'm sure of. I'll give you a few things. All right. But what Pliny did was He spent his time learning. All right. So let's get to book number two of the Natural Historia. This is the preface. And let's scroll down a little bit more. I think I have it way too big. Yeah, it's way too big. All right. All right. This is what I love because when people was being bad and they was out doing stuff and you know what I'm saying, I was at home. I was studying. I was reading. Like my mama, she had me like looking at zoo books and stuff like that. I don't got no problem telling people I am a nerd. All right, so let's go down. We're gonna go to the natural history, and this book is very important because this is the letter that's to Vespasian, as you can see. Vespasian was the Roman emperor who eventually went to war against Jerusalem. He invaded our home, and when he invaded our home, he was the one who was responsible for kicking us out. So. Knowing about Vespasian's relationship, knowing that he was a real person, this also proves the validity of the blacks, the Africans, the African Americans, who are known as the Hebrew Israelites, proving that Christ really existed because these generals, these people. You know what I'm saying? So. Uh, my controls are kind of screwy, man. I need this to come down just a little bit, but if I touch it too much, okay, we're looking for book number two. So here it goes, book number two. Okay, book two, natural history. All right, therefore, advanced search. All right, and okay, that's three. All right, so let's scroll it back just a little bit. Bear with me. I don't know how to make this. I need more space up here. Up here. Let's go back one more page. Oh my goodness, I did a hyper roll. Yeah, maybe if we do it. Okay, yeah, let's do it like a book. Yay, there we go. Let's do it like a book. Okay, let's do it like a book. There we go. Now we can see. This is exactly what we want. The wtih. Okay, so you see this? This is chapter two. What is the name of this? The figure of the world. All right, figure of the world. Okay, I'm pretty sure that you already read a little bit of the heading. All right. Uh, yeah. All right. So for those who can read for themselves, you already see where this is going. Okay. You already see where this is going. So you can disagree with me, and I still love you. All right. I just want you to see something maybe somebody never showed you. Okay. So let's read. Of the figure of the world, that the form of the world is round, in the figure of a perfect globe. Its name in the first place, and the consent of all men agreeing to call it in Latin orbis or globe. I'm sorry, before we even get into a flat earth debate, the name itself tells you that it's a sphere. Isn't that funny? So Instagram, TikTok, and all that cool stuff, I can't do that right now. But what I can do is show you in the book, and the book will take you like right back to the Genesis. The Genesis tells you that the word Latin and the whole world can sense that the word orb, globe, is the shape of it. As many also natural reasons evidently show, for not only because such a figure very way falleth and bendeth upon itself. So this form, it curves up and it curves down, is able to uphold itself, includeth and containeth itself, having need of no joints for this purpose, as finding in any part thereof no end or beginning. Or because this form agreeth best for that, what is this word? Motion. Motion is mundus. Mundus is another name for earth. This is the word that shows us that the earth is always in rotation. She is a perfect sphere that is always spinning and suspended on nothing. I need you to take away the images that you've seen on TikTok of a flat surface with pillars up under it. That's not what we're reading. See, there's a such thing as called iconoclasm, and if you look at an image long enough, you start to believe it. But you gotta read and let your imagination and let the Most High show you. All right. So look at this. We're gonna start at that motion, whereby continually it must turn about, as hereafter will appear. But also because the eyesight, watch this, doth approve the same. So when people are doing experiments with lasers on airplanes to try to prove to you the earth is flat. That's not how it works. What that is called, everybody, is, say this with me, say zetetic astronomy. Say zetetic astronomy. Great job. Whenever you're trying to prove that the earth is flat, what you're doing is you're teaching zetetic astronomy. Now, I turn back to the picture of the mundus of the motion of Mama Moon. So you've seen what we were reading from. I'm going to continue to read. Now, if you would like to read along, put a 7 in the room and I can switch back to the page. All right. If you'd like to read along, because that's very important, put a 7 in the room and I can switch back to the page. So let me continue reading. But this also proving that the earth is a sphere and also that she is continually in spinning. Eyesight does approve the same because look which way soever you will, it appeareth convex, and even on all sides, a thing doth not incident to any other figure. I'm gonna check the comment board, see if anybody put a 7 in the room if they would like to read along, or if you want me to question. Yo, pop it out. Pop it out. That's what we waiting on. All praise help. I show my check out shot. All right. But you don't have to ask a question. Just put everything up. Okay. This is an open forum. All right. And here, men and women are allowed to speak and teach. All right. Now, of course, Scripture says women are to usurp authority over men, etc. You know what I'm saying? Not etc. But that is for. So, please bring everyththing that you have. This is a perfect time for it. All right. The Eladim and the Mashukayim things are winding down. It's almost dinner time for me. My Mashukayim, my Eladim, they should be eating. My children, my Eladim, they should be eating. I'm going to continue this, and then once they finish, you know what I'm saying, then I'll be good. But ask any question that you will. It's the perfect time for it, all right? I probably should have said that, all right? So, but go ahead, please. And as you present and type your questions up, invite any that you know. And if it's another man or woman in truth and they have the same or different views, please bring them forward. And we can read, and what the scripture says, come now, let us reason together. All right. So just to show you, this is where we are. Okay. All right. So, and we're going to continue reading down. We're going to go to our next page. And this is really cool because on this website, all you have to do is click over and you go over to the next page. Pretty cool, huh, everybody? All right. So let's continue reading about the motion of the world. Right. So, that the world thus framed in a continued circuit. What does the word circuit mean, everybody? It means continually going around and around and around. If you can play, if your parents give you permission to play, and you can stand up in the room and you spin out, you put your arms out and you spin around in a circle, then you would be acting like a star. If you stood up and you put your arms out and you spin around like a helicopter, you would be spinning in a circuit like a star. That the world thus framed, or that's the shape of it as a sphere, is continued circuit with unspeakable, look at this, with unspeakable swiftness, turneth round in space, in the space of 24 hours. This one brother presented to me, said, so you telling me that the earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour? I said, that's slow. I said, 1,000 miles an hour, that's slow. But yeah, sure, I'll go with that. The elder Pliny says, with unspeakable swiftness, turneth round in the space of what? 24 hours. The ordinary rising, let's go back to our page, I apologize. All right, around in the space of 24 hours, the ordinary rising and setting of the sun leaves no room for doubt, whether it being in a height exceedingly great, and therefore the sound of so huge a frame, whilst it whirleth about unceasingly, cannot be heard with our ears. I cannot easily imagine no more by Hercules than you know what I'm saying. That's not me. That's his speech. You know what I'm saying. We don't swear. All right. I'm not swearing by Yahweh. All right. But Pliny, which was not a Hebrew Israelite, all right, this was his thing. So he's saying he swear by his power, right? That I may vouch the ringing of the stars that are driven round therewith and roll their own spheres. Look at that word, spheres. You know why that word sphere is important? Because we're going to prove to you today that the earth is shaped in the shape of a sphere through education, not through argument, not through video, not through clickbait. We're going to share through education that the earth is a sphere. Okay. Now, I encourage you, if you have any debates, now, again, why is this important? Because you have to know the shape of the earth to know the shape. Excuse me, you have to know the shape of the moon in order to know when to keep new moon, the feast days. All kingdoms will come to the Shabbat and to new moon when Yahweh Shai is now in rulership. When Yahweh Shai is rulership, all nations will come and serve. All right. So let's do this real quick. Let's do Encyclopedia Edition the First. So we're going to do this again through education. And I want you to really consider everybody. Now, and I don't want anybody to feel targeted. I have many friends who believe that the earth is flat. And I asked them, if the earth is flat, then bro, how you get new moon? Bro, if the earth is flat, how you come up with, bro, if the earth is flat, why ain't the ice wall going all the way around the earth? Bro, if the earth is flat, and I have all these questions, and what happened was, instead of getting answers back, I got ridiculed. I don't like being ridiculed when I'm trying to learn. That's not fun. That don't feel good being poked at when you're trying to learn, especially if I'm trying to learn about God. Come on, man. Like, I mean, and I apologize. I repent. I've done that. I tried not to, but I've done that in the past. So, and since I got ridiculed, man, I ain't asking nobody but the Most High. I started learning. So now we can see where we are. If you can see this, then what you're seeing is a very rare old book. Now, all praise Yahweh, the house of Zion. We've been blessed to own this actual physical copy. All right. This book is called Encyclopedia Britannica, edition the first. All right. And if you're a mathematician and if you're an astrologer, if you like science, this book should be like one of your playbooks. You know what I'm saying? This book should be like a companion to your Bible, and to be able to answer questions. And now you see people are not arguing with you, they're arguing with logic. See what this chapter is? Chapter 1 of astronomy in general. Chapter 2 of the solar system. Hold on. We're going to go back just a smidget. Now, here's where we are. I apologize. We're going to go to this chapter right here that says of the solar system. Okay. Now, Encyclopedia Britannica edition the first was compiled together by the Society of Gentlemen. Okay. This is, I don't know how to explain it, man. This is just a jewel to have. Now, here, let me share this with you because I don't want to make it hard. And it's like, oh, yeah, well, we've seen it, but they ain't proved nothing. Or it's not just about proving, it's about helping you get to the next level of understanding. All right. So we're going to go to a screen, we're already on screen share, and check this out. All right. So here's this. I'm going to put this right here. And whenever you're ready, your question is, whenever you're ready, ask your question. All right. So here's the link. This link right here will take you to the same website. Go and copy and paste it and go and eat this book alive. I'm going to leave your question up until you ask the question. All right. So let's get back to this. Of our solar system, first we see is the planets. There are some Hebrew Israelites that don't believe in planets. I don't know why. That is ridiculous. Somebody told you planets don't exist. They're called wandering stars. Hebrews called the planets wandering stars. Why? Because the stars don't move. They're always in their position. But the planets move. Therefore, they were called wandering stars. How did they miss that? It's okay. I want you to know it. Let us suppose, we're going to start here. Let us suppose, you see how this suppose is spelled? I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see it more. So we can all see it more, right? All right. You notice that this suppose is spelled with an F. Let's go back to that page. You're going to see that because this is an old text. So it's F-U-P-P-O-F-E. That's suppose. So you're going to see old text. Let's read. Let us suppose that the Earth's orbit to be a thin, even, solid plane, cutting the sun through the center and extending out as far as starry heaven. So what do we see? we automatically see what King Solomon said. He said he knew the rotation of the stars. King Solomon, Sue, he said he knew the circuits of the heavens. That's in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. Okay. We're going to pause our moon animation because we're going to come back to it. I feel like it's just moving for no reason right now. So King Solomon said he knew the circuits of the stars, the rotations of the heavens, right? This is not a flat earth plane that we're sitting on. I would love to go along with my friends and family members on that, but if I did, I'd be a liar. I would be. You know why? Because the scripture says study to show yourself approved. You're not approved if you can't come into the congregation of the scientists if you don't know it. You can go over into the congregation of the other, but you can't come into the congregation of the astrologers if you're not approved. So let me extend to you this greeting, this card, to come and say, learn and study this. When we speak of the planet's orbits, all that is meant is their paths through the open and unshifting space in which they move. Yes, the planets are outside of our atmosphere and are kept in by the attractive power of the sun. That's called gravity. Somebody told me gravity don't exist. I said, what in the flat earther did he say? Gravity don't exist? I said, go jump off a building and go up. I said, I dare you. Go show me gravity don't exist, jump off a building and go up. Prove it to me. I'm going to stand right down here and watch. And the projectile force is suspended, and this might be, let's turn our page over here. And the suspended force is projected. Come on, baby. Scoot down for me, baby. Okay. All right, so there we go. All right. Can you scoot up for me, Paige? Oh, that'd be a cute name, Paige. Upward on at first. Okay. All right, so let's scroll down. The first planet that we see is the planet Mercury. Now, I'm not going to go into the reading of the planets yet because that goes into a lot of science, and it's not just about the science of it. And I just want to show specific things. Not only are these planets moving, but this is ancient wisdom. Look, this is before Jesus was spelled with a J. All right. Okay. So let's scroll over to this whole section as we see planets. All right. Now, over here, we see not only the sun's altitude, but evidence of the sun. And we're going to scroll over. All right. I would like to go to chapter 14. All right, everybody bear with me. All right, we're going through the book together. All right, the earth is, thank you. I love Yahweh so much. Can I tell you how much I love Yahweh? Look, I'm going to show you how much I love Yahweh. I love Yahweh this much. Look at this. Look, let me show you how much I love Yahweh. I love Yahweh. Well, hold on, scroll. Come back over here, y'all. Look. He always does this. All you got to do is go and look, and he'll show you. Look, I love Yahweh this much. The earth is round like a globe, as appears by its shadow in eclipse. I know you're still dealing with this part. I'm going to read the whole thing, everybody. The earth is round like a globe, as appears by its shadow in eclipses of the moon, which shadow is always bounded by a circular ring. By our seeing the mass of ship, whilst the hull is hid by the convexity of the water, by its having been sailed round by many navigators, the hills take off no more from the roundness of the earth in comparison than grains of dust from the roundness of a common globe. Now, our moon is a moon to the moon. Does that make sense? Look, I'm gonna copy this And you don't have to go back and look for it, but you can if you want to. You can share this video out. You can comment, subscribe, all that stuff that they tell people to say on social media. I'm going to go ahead and say that, right? So here, boom, here. Some may care, some may not. And this is what I say separates the rubber from the road. This is what I'm saying when the rubber meets the road. Because you have some Hebrew Israelites that are elders that buy and sell on the Sabbath. But then will try to condemn you for the type of clothes you wear. The reality of it is this right here. You got to study to show yourself approved. The information is all here and it's proven for you. I cannot lie to you. If I can tell the truth, which I put a lot of effort into it, I will. It's not to say, I'm always, like the quickest to just give you a, be like, yeah, let's your ABA and ABA at the same time. We also have to be circumspect. You know what I'm saying? I like to think before I speak. Point of saying such to say, I can't negate this information. I have to show it to you. It's right here. If you don't know how to calculate the Earth and the rotation of the moon is only 8 phases. No one showing you, brothers and sisters, saying all these weird things and not going to books or just using clickbait. That's not right. Go to books. Look at this. The seas and unknown parts of the earth by the measurements, is going to scroll up a little bit, by the, what is that? By a measurement of best maps, by a measurement of the best maps. See, look at that spelled BEFT. BEFT, best maps. And then it tells you like this is the numbers, and if anybody is like excellent mathematicians, you can do all of this by the ocean's calculations. Look at this. In all, 199,512,595, which is the number of square miles of the whole surface of our globe. The Earth is not flat, everybody. It's not just about, showing and proving and none of it. It's about telling you, Yahweh said, blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed. You gotta blow up the trumpet in the time appointed. The time appointed is when she's dark, when she's going through her interlunium phase. Okay? So I want to go to that next, but let's deal with Mama Moon right now. I'm gonna read this on Mama Moon while we do our visual. So let's go back over to here. All right, let's get that back up because she's so beautiful to look at. All right. So as we look at Mama Moon right now, she's in waxing gibbous. And as we go to waxing gibbous, she's called waxing gibbous because this side over here, all right, is starting to curve a little more towards the dark and her light's coming more. Now, once you see her crispy edges all the way on the left side and on the right side, then that's how you know she's full moon. Once you see she's bright on the right and on the left. This is another way of proving that the moon is not flat. I'm going to pause it right there. That's a great spot for full moon. Also, her craters. When people say that you can only see 50% of the moon, you only see one side of the moon, that is not true. That's not true. You guys see like 60%, 60, 70%. How do we know? Because this top part is her curvature, which you can see the backside of. This bottom part is her curvature from Earth. That's her navel. You see that? She never changes. She's always spinning. Beautiful. So when she gets to this phase, she is 15 days old, and now we start counting down to the moon. I want you to pay attention and draw out each phase if you can, even if you have to draw in your mind. And when she gets to waning crescents, I want you to mark that. Waning crescents, right before it's time to go with the new moon into perfect darkness. Full moon is the opposite of new moon. This phase right here, the bright, beautiful phase that we see, is the opposite of the dark phase. This is the phase when the Most High made her 15 days old. We can read that. 15 days old is when he made her in this phase. All right. There you zero at dark phase. So let's go ahead and let's play this and we'll start while I read. The moon is not a planet, but only a satellite or an attendant of the Earth, going around the Earth from change to change in 29 days, 12 hours, and 44 minutes, and round the sun with it every year. The moon's diameter is million. Wait, 21,800. Wait, 2,800. 1 million. No, it's 2,180 miles. Y'all do the math on that. 2,180,000. No, wait, 2,800 million. No, wait. The moon's diameter is. I'm about to copy and paste it, and then y'all can tell me. Y'all can type that out. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna give y'all the whole phrase right here. I ain't even gonna struggle with it. Come over here. That right there. Copy paste. Wow. All right. There you have it. That's her diameters. Okay. All right. That's her diameters. All right. So again, back to her. She's so beautiful. There we have her. Now we're in. The moon's diameter is that number, and her distance from the Earth's center is 2,400. Excuse me, I don't even know how to say that. She. All right. I'm going to skip this part, and instead of reading it, I'm going to copy paste and put it in here for you, and you all can do the math on her rotations and her axis. All right. All right. So that's kind of throwing me off. When I mix numbers and words together, I get brain scrambled. And that's why I appreciate my children, because my children help me with numbers. So, and I'm so happy my Elijah was so smart. Wow, it turns around about the moon, her axis exactly at the same time that she goes around the earth, which is the reason of her keeping always the same side towards us. And that day and night taken together is no, excuse me, is as long as our lunar month. The moon has an opaque globe, just like the Earth, and shines only by reflecting the light from the sun. Wherefore, whilst that one half of her, which is turned towards the sun, is enlightened, the other half must be dark and invisible. Hence, she appears when she comes between us and the sun, because her dark side is then towards us. When she is gone a little away forward, we see a little of her enlightened side, which still increases to our view as she advances forward until she comes to be opposite of the sun, and then her whole enlightened side is toward the earth. What does that sound like? The moon. And she appears with a round illuminated orb, which we call full moon. Her dark side being then turned away from the earth. From the full, she seems to decrease gradually as she goes through the other half of her courses, showing us less and less of her enlightened side every day till her next change or conjunction with the sun. And then she disappears as before. This continual change of the moon's phases demonstrates that she shines not by a light any of her own, for if she did, being globular, she would all we should always see her with a round full orb like the sun. Her orbit is represented in the scheme of a little circle M upon the Earth's orbit, but it is drawn 50 times too large in proportion to the Earth's, and yet it is also too small to be seen in the diagram. The moon has scarce any difference of seasons, her axis being almost perpendicular to the ecliptic. What is very singular on one half of her also has no darkness at all. The earth constantly affording it a strong light in the sun's absence, while the other half of the fortnights darken and the fortnight lights by turns. Our earth is a moon to the moon. Let me read that again. Our earth that we live on, our earth is a moon, but our earth is a moon to the moon. Isn't that cool? So you actually live on the moon too. If there was other life that's living on the moon, we live on a moon. But our moon to them is called Aratza. Our moon is called Earth. The Earth is a moon to the moon, waxing and waning regularly, but appears 13 times as big and affording her 13 times as much light as she does to us. See, now this is the perspective that you would understand if you were on the moon. Okay, when she changes to us, the Earth appears full to her, and when she is in her first quarter to us, the Earth is in its third quarter to her. So this proves what the Most High said. He has made all things double and has set one against another. He has made all things perfect. So when the moon is in waxing crescent, the earth is in waning crescent. When the moon is in first quarter, the earth is in last quarter. When the moon, you get it? So the moon and the earth, they always operate opposite of each other. And the Most High has made all things are double, one against another. He has made nothing unperfect. Let me get that. That's verse 24. So it's 42:24, right? Which is pretty cool for those who know, right? But look at this. All these things live and remain forever for all uses. And they are all obedient. All things are doubled one against another. And he has made nothing imperfect. One thing establishes the good or of another, and who shall be filled with beholding his glory? So Yahweh made all things perfect, one set another against another. All right. And the lunar phases are there to help remind us of the Most High's glory, his beauty, and how to keep his holy convocations. And with that being said, I'm going to yield the floor. I hope that that was helpful. For more proof and evidence where we were just reading from, okay, so let's go to our screen share. All right. Uh, let's go to our pages, and we were just reading. All right. And as you can see, this section is titled Astronomy, right? Let me get the specific page, and you can look it up for yourself. I think this is a good time frame to stop the video. It doesn't have to be too long because it should be just enough to give you a good running start. Okay. Encyclopedia Britannica edition first. I would say buy this book before you buy the Book of Enoch. All right. Buy this book before you buy, you know what I'm saying, the Book of Jubilees. All right. And with that being said, y'all brought the come y'all, outside. All right. Yeah, sure. Hey, since you forgot to ask your question, you never ask your question. All right. Maybe you got your question answered. Okay. There's the link. All right. For anybody else that would like to come back later. Oh, did you? I was just about to leave. I was just about to end the video. All right. I seen that you came back in here. I was just about to end the video. Did you want to present your question? I think that a few things have been validated for everybody. Not only the shape of the earth being a perfect sphere enclosed in, but also the swiftness of the earth moving, also the moon being a satellite to the earth. We just read a lot of really good juicy jewels. Juicy fruit jewels. All right. So I'm gonna go back to the image of the moon, and right here. Matter of fact, I can't stop it. I can't stop because if I stop the video, then I would have missed a point. Okay, I would have missed a very important point. All right. So um, as you see, the phase that you're looking at is called waning crescent. If you have any questions, comments, or something that you want to say, Baba Bashar, please do bring out, agree, disagree, or, you know what I'm saying, ask me what is the resource that we're coming from, the sources. All right, this is Pliny the Elder. All right, why the world is called Mundus. For my own part, I am ruled by the general consent of all nations for the world which the Greeks, by the name of ornament, called, that's how they say in Greek, we, for the perfect neatness of absolute elegance, therefore, have termed Mundus. And we have named Sky, I don't know how to pronounce that yet, all right, because it is engraven. And this is where we start learning about the atmosphere and the firmament. All right, this is where we start learning about the what they call the crystal firmament. You know what I'm saying? All of that. This is where we start learning about it because these elders that wrote about it first. All right, but let me stop. I would really like to go to his section on the phases of the moon and new moon, but instead we're going to use a different source. All right, so Lastly, what we read was this is our other source. What we read was St. John of Damascus, book number 2, chapter 7. All right. St. John of Damascus, book number 2, chapter 7. And what that shows us again is the phases of the moon, her rotation, also proving that the moon is not a light of herself, but she is a vessel for containing light. Okay, she is a vessel for containing light. She is not a light herself. She is a vessel for containing light. Also proving that new moon, Passover starts at the beginning of the head of Aries. All right. Here's our phase of the moon section that we read on. All right, if anybody would like to see that, and showing how all things are double and the Most High set one thing against another. Okay, so beautiful edification. All right, we're going to stop that part and we're going to go over here, share this screen, and now we're going to learn about our last one, which means I'm going to shut some windows down. So if anybody has any questions, shut down the windows and have our tabs in them. All right. We're going to shut down this video too. Like I said, I think this is a good stopping point. And prayerfully, somebody learned something. All right. It's not for naught. It's not for anything. It's not for nothing. Like the forefathers told us, the writings that they did are hard to abridge. It's hard to put these things together. All right. If you would like to, it's after the Sabbath. You can send me some shekels for a cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest. I like coffee with cannabis creamer in it. I professionally make cannabis creamer drinks and cannabis juices and teas with sexual aphrodisiacs. All right. Right now, our flavor of the month is blueberry. All right. Blueberry cannabis creamer. All right. So if you want to give me a cup of coffee, you can put that up in there. You see the Cash App down there. You can Zelle me straight to my phone number. That'd be awesome. All right. I get a cup of coffee, like how much that at McDonald's? Anyway, let's get this real quick. We're gonna go to Isidore of Seville's etymologies. All right, so I want to take y'all here with me so you can see what we're doing and also see how the information for yourself. I like to share things. All right, I'm gonna keep it to 100. If you ask me for a cup of coffee, I'll be like, all right, come on, all right, that's it. All right, a cup of coffee. All right, that's it. That's how you want the hash brown. I'm giving you some hash brown. I like hash brown and I like ketchup. And then I'm probably gonna start talking to you and ask you what your tribe is, the nation, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Some salt and pepper. Salt and pepper really ain't good for you. I'm about to have them. All right, so here's the link for this real quick. All right, let me show you this before we get here. All right, there was a sister that said she had a question. All right, so here's the link. All right, whenever you're ready, pop that question out there. Don't be afraid. All right, pop it on out there. That's the link that will bring you up to where we are. Isidore Seville's etymology. All right, for those who have ears, let them hear. We're about to learn, and this will be the last one. I'm not going to go on any longer than this. So if you've endured this long, thanks for hanging on. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it. All right. We're going to Isidore Seville's etymologies, and we're going to prove that new moon is when the moon is dark. IUIC does a lot of clickbait and images of new moon being full moon. That's not accurate. All right. It's just not right. Now full moon. Okay. I'm not going to say it's just not right. All right. Because there's some validity to it. All right. But when you see in Psalms 83, when it says blow the trumpet in new moon in the time appointed, that word that's appointed for it tells us that it's the dark moon. So this book is really dope. This is Isidore Seville's etymologies, and you can see some of the topics that this, savant, that this genius touched on. All right. He was considered the internet of the time. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they didn't use the phrase internet. You know what I'm saying? He was the source of information. All right, so here's sources of the etymology. So you can see character etymologies, influence etymologies, additions etymologies, etc. Such. What we're going to do is go straight down to book number 3. We're going to go to mathematics, music, and astronomy. So let's go to mathematics, music, and astronomy. So as you can see, we jump right down to the section de astronomie. All right, mathematica. All right, astronomy. All right. So that section I really should be reading because numbers go the opposite direction in my head. And I say that, and I don't be joking. It's the Hebrew in me. Right? Numbers just go the opposite direction. It's so weird, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else be like, I'm a Hebrew and I can count. You're from the tribe of Dan. All right, so let's get this real quick. All right, 7 different notes. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. If you hung on this long, you might as well rock and roll out with us just a few moments longer. Plus, uh, you know, it would be good for you to get the entire lesson. So I'm going to end it off right here. Astronomia, right? The name astronomy, the astronomia, right? Nomi, right? Astronomy is the law of the stars, right? Which is by investigative reasoning touches on the courses of the constellations and the figures and positions of the stars relative to each other and the earth. All right. So with that, uh, I read this on a couple other videos. I've read it a few times. If you want to, please screenshot it. I've also shared the link in here. All right. Let's read this real quick. The name, the world and its name. Look at this. De mundo et unus nomine. The world, mundus, is that which consists of the heavens, the earth, the seas, and all the stars. The world is thus named because always in motion, multus, for no rest is granted to its elements. The shape of the world, de forma mundi. The shape of the world is shown in this way. Just as the world is rised up towards the northern region, so it declines toward the south. So he's saying, just as there's where you are, if you look up, if you stand there and look down, there's a down under you. Not just like a down. I didn't mean to say Australia down under. There's a equal and opposite part of Earth. The Earth is a perfect sphere. Let me read that again. And forgive me if some of these ancient writers sound kind of like they kind of, what the brothers say, feisty. But it sounds like sometimes they be pop and fly a little bit because he starts off his phrase, just as the world is raised up toward the northern region, so it declines toward the south with the period. Just like there's an up, there's a down. As above, so below. Its head and its face, as it were, is its eastern region. So the face of the earth is the east. The sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. The furthest part is the northern region. Look at this, the sky is named. Now, I want to go into all of this, but I'm pretty sure, you all see it for yourself. I've had the pleasure of listening to it and reading it. And I want to go into new moon. Let's go into full moon, and we're going to the moon and her phases. Now, before we go there, here we go, the hemispheres. All right. So the hemisphere is half part of a sphere. So from where you are, there's half of a sphere. That's that picture that you see on social media. All right. That's the flat earth image that you see, where it's just half and it's half a sphere. I don't want to show that image because I don't want to confuse nobody. I could use that for clickbait and all that crazy stuff. But like I said, Thawadi, how I want to show you off of edification. I want to show you off of edification, off of education. All right. So let's go back up. So hemisphere is half of a sphere. All right. Hemisphere is that above the earth. Above the earth is all that part of the sky that is seen by us. The hemisphere under all right, let me see. The hemisphere under, oh no. Oh, are we crashing out? Okay, I thought it was crashing out. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. I might have to get a new computer. Right out. Hemisphere that is above the earth is all that part of the sky that is seen by us. The hemisphere under the earth is that part that cannot be seen as long as it is under the earth, right? Now, of course, it goes into the circles of heavens. So now you're learning about the ionosphere, stratosphere, etc. Right? Now, here's the circle of the zodiac. The circle of the zodiac. The circle of the zodiac consists of angles made from lines to lines. If you want to know about the zodiac, you can read about the zodiac in the book of Job. The book of Job, chapter 38, and then go to verse 32, and you'll see the zodiac, right? Okay. And last one, size of the sun, because the brother said to me, the sun, it can't be the sun is bigger than the earth. I said, oh, why not? He was like, man, the sun ain't bigger than earth. I said, are you sure? Now, I don't know if he was just wrecking with me or not, but Let me make sure I get this because some people think that the sun is small. It's not. It's very large. So I'm gonna copy this and then I'm gonna paste that to a comrade of mine. All right. But as you can see, it the size of the sun, right? Well, is the size. Excuse me, the size of the sun is greater than that of the Earth. Just starting right out, right? So now, as you see, we're going to the sun. Of course, we're going to be going into the nature of the moon afterwards. Now that we're at the nature of the moon, let's read our last point. I'm going to go over to our video so we can go out with our visual. All right, let's go out with our visual. All right. Oh, my mouse got swallowed up in the darkness of this page. There we go. All right. All right. The first shape of the moon has two horns, thus a figure follows. The second has a section, thus. Third has a half, thus. Fourth is fourth, thus. Fifth is half again, and size full, thus. The sixth is the section again, thus. The seventh is two horn, thus. And the seventh lunar day, when the moon is half full, excuse me, the moon is half, and the second 20, when, wow, that's really dope. And the 22nd, when it is a half, and her midpoints of her orbit. And the other days are proportional. Now, here's what you want to see interlunar intervals, the interlunius. The interlunar intervals of the moon is the time between waning and waxing moon. This is the 30th day when the moon does not shine. At that time, the moon cannot be seen because it is in conjunction with the sun and darkened. But it is seen the moment it is reborn by moving gradually from the sun. I want to show you this real quick because that phase is called interluneus. Interluneus is also known as the interlunar phase. The interlunar phase, as we just read, is known as the new moon phase. We have eclipses of the moon and eclipses of the sun. Once a month, the Most High gives us an eclipse of the moon. An eclipse of the moon occurs whenever the moon does what? Runs into the shadow of the earth. The moon is thought not to have its own light, but to be illuminated by the sun. Thence it disappears if the earth's shadow comes between it and the sun. This happens to the moon on the 15th lunar day until it leaves the central part and the shadow of the intervening earth and sees the sun or is seen by the sun. I'm going to stop right there. I think that's enough. Don't want to overload you. All right, we had some really cool books that we went through. I'm going to leave these pages up for the books just for me because I know I'm going to want to look at them later. But for right now, that's it. The mind and the body needs to rest. Praise Yahweh so much. Shout out to Luke Carter, Avi, and my Ami, and out there doing the ministry. All right, the honors the elders, those who are teaching well and ruling well. All right, take time, get ready for the Pesach that we know is coming up soon. And watch out for them fireballs, man. Like they said in the movie, right? They said, don't look up. All right.